Hello and welcome back. This is the new project. This is an UAZ-452 or 2206, or as they are called, the nickname, BUHANKA. I will start by admitting I know nothing about these cars other than how they look. So maybe the model number is wrong. I may be saying BUHANKA wrong. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I do know that I like it. When I got the Skoda, I made a small quiz to see if you could guess what kind of car I bought. My only leads back then was rear-wheel drive, rear-engined and 4 doors, and you all guessed the Skoda. I also made a quiz with the Panda. You all guessed that right as well. Then I got this one, and I was completely sure that no one would guess it. And I only got one guess, and it was the UAZ-452. I'm beginning to suspect that people are hiding in the fields around my house. How could you guess this? Either way, I did not know I needed this, and it is going to be a very huge project. What I really like so far, I haven't worked on it yet, but I have just been looking at stuff, but I really like the way it's put together. It's much like the Skoda. It is meant to be maintained by the owner. It seems to be very simple. It seems to be very easy to access stuff on it. And I think it seems to be a pretty reliable setup. So my plans for this is to build a 4x4 camper. This will never be a comfortable highway cruiser, but it will be okay to drive to a forest or a beach somewhere and then go into the hard to reach spots and then just camp there. So I'm gonna make it into a very primitive camper is my plan. I want it to be as close as possible to a driving tent, but before starting that project, this car needs to be fixed and MOT'd and imported. It's actually not even Danish, and I need to pay a tax to actually be allowed to use the car. So that's the first task. There is a lot of rust. There is some rust in the frame that I need to fix. I'm not sure that I have the abilities to do that, so I might have to get some help for that, but we'll see. Then I need to go over everything. The clutch is leaking, for instance. The engine runs all right, but I just looked into the valve cover yesterday, and it's been a while since this engine has been serviced. But anyway, today I'm just gonna show you the car and the project. So this is a Russian van or bus, and in many ways it reminds me more of a tractor or a tank in the way it's built. But it is called BUHANKA because BUHANKA means bread, and it looks a little bit like a bread, much like the 70s Volkswagen camper and the 60s, which is also looking a bit like a bread. The BUHANKA is supposed to be a quite capable vehicle off-road, and looking at it, it looks that way. One thing which is very important off-road is ride height, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of room. Only the differential is a bit low, but they should be built like tanks, these axles, so hitting a stone is not the end of the world. Could be, but they are tough. At the front we have a air intake, and the brake booster is just behind there. That's a bit weird of a design. I suspect that the engine is also in there somewhere. Yeah, I can see the coolant. I can see the radiator, and I can see, I don't know if that picks up, but in there is some louvers, I think they are called, that you can open and close. So when you drive at winter time, you can close them, and the engine will keep warmer and drive nicer. That's a very Siberian Russian thing, in my opinion. I heard many stories that Russian cars are built to be able to withstand a bonfire underneath the engine to heat it up in winter, but that is just a myth. Also, a lot of people tells me that Russian cars have a little hatch in the floor, so you can ice fish and then just drive onto a lake and open the hatch and then fish. I have never seen that, but it's a good story either way. Let's step inside. I could use a little stair, even though I'm quite tall. It's pretty high up this. And we are in. So inside the Buhanka, we have a lot of switches that I don't know what does, and a lot of switches that I do know what does. In my previous video, I gave some clues about the next project, and I told you it was a van, that it had 3 gear sticks, or gear-related sticks, and it was a 4x4, and that it had this one, high beam and low beam. That was all clues that I gave, and still the only guess was actually the UAZ-452, and I think this is a UAZ-452. I'm a bit unsure, but I think it is. So this is a bit unusual. This is not, it's just the clutch. This is the brake, and this is the accelerator. Right here we have a switch that I don't know what does. I turned it once and it made a weird sound from somewhere, and it has not made a sound since. I just put it back at the same position. So this is the light switch. This is the key for the firing protocol of the nuclear head. No, that's not the one. This is the ignition. This is most likely for oil pressure or temperature or something like that. I don't really know. Up here we have a fuel gauge. When I put the ignition on, it jumps all the way over there, making me think that the center unit is shorted, because I don't think the fuel tank is completely filled. It could be, but I don't think so. And the way it just slams there makes me think that it's shorted. Then we've got the water temperature on the engine, an oil pressure gauge, a voltage meter, and a cover. And behind this cover is the reservoir for the clutch. I don't know if it's also for the brakes. No, it's not, because we saw them at the front. So it's only for the clutch. Then we have the speedo, reading 83385 kilometers, which is not a lot, but I don't know if it has been around once. I don't think so, actually, but I don't know. Then we've got a hazard light switch. It's not supposed to do that. Let's try again. That's better. The blinker relay is sticking a little bit, I think. It's making a very nice sound if you're into that kind of stuff. Then there is this. It's the wiper. And if I push it, I think... Oh, I need to have ignition on, of course. If I push it, I think it will spray. It did, and also it wipes in a very happy way. This, I don't know what does. B and D, I don't know what that stands for. Then we have a first aid kit. Opaska gasova sterilina. I believe this is some kind of bandage that is sterile. And then there is ammoniacostici. So that's good to have. Then there's another switch that I don't know what does. There's a lot of things that I need to learn. This little thing down here is to open the hatch on the front of the car. Push the lever, the flap opens, and air comes into the cabin. Very simple, yet effective. And then over here is some kind of, that must be for the, I believe that is for the heating part of the primitive air condition system. And also there is stuff down here. One thing is a spare key, I believe. And then some What is this? Just a piece of magnet. Don't really know what that is. I wonder if that is US on with Russian lettering. I don't know. I hope some of you know. Really hope to get some Russian viewers now. Oh, this is just one of those things that I really love about cars like these. This must be the pipe that goes to the defroster. But you can turn this and open it up down here, which will lead hot air down to your feet, or well, almost, at least next to your feet. I really like design like that. That is just so simple and just will never break. That's nice. Then we have a lot of gear sticks. There's the gear stick, the normal gear stick, 4 gears, no synchros at all, so double D clutching is necessary. Then I'm not sure, the guy I bought it from showed me and I forgot it instantly. This is the 4x4 engagement handle, but I don't know which way it should go to engage or disengage. This is high and low gear, and it's the same story. I don't know what's what, but I should be able to find out. Down here we have some other controls. A button that I don't know what does. A choke. This is for the louvers we saw in the at the front of the car to give it more or less cooling. Or maybe it's this one. Well, I'm unsure. I will have to find out. Over here is the fan for the rear of the car, which is back there. And then this is the, I don't know if you call it a bonnet or a latch or a hood or whatever you call it when the engine is inside the cabin, but that is what it is. A bit like a Volkswagen LT. You lift it up like this, and here we have it. One gigantic Russian engine. Oh, it's big in my world. Remember, I like small cars. This is not a small car. And I like small engines, and this is not a small engine. But what I do like is that it's a petrol engine. For some reason, I like that more than diesel. It's a 2.5 or 4, I'm unsure. It's around that displacement. It develops 68 horsepower. And it's a bit fun because it's a 2.5, 68 horsepower. Comparing that to my Lancia A112 with a 0.1 engine or 1050 cubic engine that delivers 70 horsepower. It's a bit amazing that this engine delivers that low amount of horses. But I do suspect that it has a better torque figure. I don't know what it is, but I suspect that it's a good pulling engine and not a good horsepower engine. A fun little gimmick is this piece of wire that pulls in the fuel pump down there, so you can prime the carb. And then this amazing detail on the carb. Don't know if you can see it. I need to find a better spot to film it. Right there, at the right there, you can actually see the fuel level inside the carb with that little window right there. I've never seen it before, but it's just the most clever way to check if you actually have fuel in the float ball. That is actually pretty nice design in my opinion. But the engine is a, I suspect it's a pushrod engine. It's a 4-cylinder engine. Down here you can see the rockers, and as I told you, it really looks like it has been neglected slightly in the oil change department. So I really am looking forward to cleaning this engine. I'm not going to take it apart because it seems to work pretty fine, but I need to at least do some oil changes and maybe do a engine flush. I don't know, but maybe. But does it work? Let's try. That it is. sounding pretty good, in my opinion. That's not bad. I think it sounds pretty healthy. There is definitely a exhaust leak, but the engine itself sounds pretty well, actually. Take a look at this wonderful overflow tank. I don't know why that is like that. Let's close this. This car was supposed to be in service not that long ago. I think it came to my country this year. And my understanding was that it was used at a hunting firm that took tourists out hunting. And there is some clues to that. For instance, this. At first I thought it was a little bar to have your drink. But it's a rifle holder. It's perfectly fitted for a rifle. So that is that. This is a pretty serious ball pen. And more medical stuff. Oh, a bone kampf. And a small mirror. Here you are. Hello. And then the rear of the van. And I don't know how it translates on the video, but there is a huge amount of space in here. I can easily sleep in here, and 2 and 3 maybe even can sleep in here. No troubles. Oop. There is some, maybe it's engine oil. And yeah, I really don't know what this is. And that must be washer fluid. Let's check this one. Oh. A spare glass for the rear lights that is broken. Aha! I think that this is used for hunting, to scare the animals out of the forest, maybe. There is another one of those that is broken. This US Buhanka is from 1986, but it has actually been in production since the 60s and all the way to 2019. I'm unsure if they still actually make this car. Of course, there are minor changes to them, but not really in the looks department. It has only been slightly upgraded engine-wise and gearbox-wise. This is a 4-speed. I know you can get a 5-speed, and I would like to get that. Also, the more modern models of these got 112 horsepower engine, and this is a 68. That would also be nice, but I don't really care because this is not going to be a racer ever. But I believe that it's possible to get spares. I just don't really know where. Of course, I can get them in Russia. I have to look into the import tax stuff about that, but because that could be expensive getting stuff from Russia. But I simply don't know. I hope to find a supplier somewhere in the European Union, because that would make it a lot cheaper. But, well, I think it's an amazing project. Just sitting here and thinking about the possibilities in this van. And I really love all the windows and all the light that comes into here. I really think this is going to be an awesome 4x4 camper. So this was just a small introduction to my new project. I'm going to make more videos about the car when I get to know it a little bit better. I know very little about this car, and I really hope to get in touch with people who knows more about them. I just wanted to show you this amazing project. Once again, it was not planned. Suddenly I bought it. I actually bought it sight unseen almost. I did not go and look at the car. I got some videos and some good pictures, and then I bought it and got it delivered. So that was a bit brave, stupid. You decide. I don't know. I really like this car. I hope it's going to be a success. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.